Welcome into Texans Today, everybody. I'm your host, Jeremy Chuggs, and coming up on today's show, leaked the Texans' new jerseys by, Antonio Brown? CT ESPN, yeah. CT ESPN and Antonio Brown, which I get, not the most trusted sources, but they leaked the new Texans jerseys, and I think they might be it. I'll show you the pictures in just a moment and let you decide for yourself. Also, we have the latest odds for the Texans' first pick in the 2024 NFL Draft on what position they'll be targeting at pick 42. I'll give you those in just a moment. And a 7-round mock draft done by the Athletics' Dane Brugler. I love his draft guide, The Beast. So, who did he have the Texans selecting in all 7 rounds of this year's draft? I'll let you know who he had the Texans take at the end of today's show. But let's get into what everybody wants to see in today's video, those leaked photos. So these are the jerseys leaked by CT ESPN and Antonio Brown of what the Texans' new jerseys are going to look like. And then this is the helmet that we got yesterday, the leaked helmet, which was actually, I guess, somewhat confirmed by Cal McNair that that's going to be the helmet. So I'm guessing it goes with that first black jersey. This we kind of already saw in the leaked photos, but this one, the blue, and then this one, the battle red, are ones that we really haven't seen. So these are the leaked photos of the new Texans jerseys. This is going to be the hat, I presume, for the Houston Texans in their alternate jerseys, which confirmed by Texans social media and Cal McNair yesterday. I believe so, if I'm reading the tea leaves of what they're trying to put down. So with all those in mind, if these are real, which granted, like again, I'm being transparent, my source here, Antonio Brown and CT ESPN, which I know it's not a very credible source, but they look pretty real, and a lot of people are saying, hey, these are the designs for the new Texans jerseys. If those are real, though, how would you rate these new Texans jerseys? Scale it 1 to 100. 1, they're going to be the worst jerseys in the league, the worst jerseys the league has ever seen. 100 being, these jerseys are so fly, so fresh, I'm going to get them right now as soon as they drop. Let me know down in the comment section, how would you rate these new Texans jerseys? 1 to 100. Now, the latest odds for the Texans at pick 42 have come out, and not really surprising in my eyes. If you've been watching the program over the past 2 months, these are kind of the five positions that I think the Texans are going to go at, especially after they made the trade for Stephon Diggs. O-line, D-line at the very top of the list. Then it's corner, safety, and linebacker. And maybe a surprise for some people because I've been preaching that the Texans might go O-line with their first pick at 42, and I've been met with, O-line? Are you kidding me, Jeremy? You're so dumb. No way the Texans go offensive line with their first pick. They need a safety. They need a corner. They need a linebacker. Those 3 positions, a little bit down on the list in the latest odds, but either way, these are some of the guys that I have seen mocked to the Texans at pick 42. So, a couple offensive linemen, Jackson Powers-Johnson and Jordan Morgan, who came in for a draft visit just the other day, a private workout actually with the Houston Texans. Chris Jenkins, Braden Fisk, and Jerzon Newton have all been defensive linemen that I've seen mocked to the Texans at pick 42. Going to corner, I've seen Mike Sainristil, the nickel corner from Michigan, being mocked to the Texans at pick 42. Same with Ennis Rakestraw and TJ Tampa. And then the safety Tyler Nubin and linebacker Peyton Wilson have been names floated around for the Texans at pick 42. If you want to know my latest mock draft before we get into Dane Brugler's, I actually dropped it the other day on the channel using the new ESPN mock draft simulator. So if you want to go check that out, if you want to check out my mock draft, maybe tell me how horrible of a host I am for taking these players at these certain picks, go ahead and go do it. This is what the thumbnail looks like. I'm going to put that link down in the comment section as well if you want to go check it out. Go tell me how I did on my mock draft before we break into Dane Brugler's 7-round mock draft. I'm in a 7-rounder as well. No props to me, but whatever. It's all good. It's all good. And as always, if you want the latest draft coverage around the Houston Texans, we will be breaking down every single pick the Texans make during the 2024 NFL Draft. UDFAs as well, signings after the draft. We have you covered here on the channel. Just another reason why you got to hit that sub button. I'm trying to get to 14,000 subscribers here on the channel. So if you could help me out, it's 100% free. Go down and hit that sub button or go to youtube.com/TexansTV. My promise to you is always this. If you don't like it in a week, all good. All you got to do is unsubscribe. No skin off your back. It's 100% free. But subscribe now. Let me give you a week to prove to you why we are the #1 Texans channel on YouTube, the fastest growing Texans channel on YouTube, and I promise you, you'll enjoy the best Texans community on YouTube here on Texans Today. So go down and hit that sub button. Give me a shot. Just give me a shot. Coming up in just a moment, Dane Brugler dropped his 7-round mock draft. I'll break down all of his picks for the Houston Texans and tell you what I think about them in just a moment. But first, our friends over at Fanatics have the Texans hats, and I promise you, as soon as those jerseys come out, if you go to chatsports.com/Texans hat, we'll have the draft hats on there as well. We don't currently have the draft hats. We do have this new cool one right here, this white one, which I've been very tempted to buy the past couple days. I think I might pull the trigger. This one's pretty dope, to be honest. All these hats, a lot of them are on sale if you go to chatsports.com/Texans hats. And once again, once the draft hats do get uploaded on there, you'll see them whenever you go to chatsports.com/Texans hats. I'll put that in the comment section and description of today's video. Go do a little window shopping. Just peruse. I mean, you might as well just go see what they have to offer. This one might be out of stock because I think I might go buy it, Colin. I think I might go buy it. One more time, chatsports.com/Texans hat. So, Dane Brugler dropped his 7-round mock draft, and obviously the Texans don't have a first-round pick. So, anytime I see a 2, 3, 4, even 7-round mock draft, I'm like, the Texans, I can see some picks, finally, because I see all these first-round mocks, and I'm like, Texans don't have a first-rounder. Texans don't have a first-rounder. But the 7-round mock by Dane Brugler, perfect. So this is what he had the Texans doing with their first 5 picks. Mike Sainristil, cornerback from Michigan. Ruke Orhorhoro from Clemson. Best name in the business right there. Kamren Kinchens, safety from Miami. Brandon Coleman, a offensive tackle guard hybrid from TCU. And Will Shipley, running back from Clemson. Now, one name on here that's been pretty highly debated amongst Texans fans because a lot of people have the Texans possibly looking at Mike Sainristil from Michigan at pick 42, which I would personally like, but a lot of people don't like it because you see the numbers right there, 5'10", they're being a little bit generous. I would say he's more of a 5'9", around my height, and he plays mostly in the nickel, which I know a lot of you are like, oh, the Texans already have a nickel in Desmond King, which I agree, but if he's the best player on the board, you still got to draft talent. Now, I don't know necessarily if the Texans are looking at that or if they're like, hey, we only want an outside corner. But the thing I know is Mike Sainristil can absolutely ball. Regardless of position, regardless of where you have him in the secondary, he can ball. So I don't hate the pick, but a highly contested pick. Whenever I look at it online, on Twitter, on Facebook, how people react to the Texans possibly taking Sainristil, it's a pretty 50-50 split on whether they love it and hate it. But Brugler had the Texans taking him at pick 42. Another guy who I haven't really talked about a ton here on the channel, Ruke Orhorhoro from Clemson. Here's his last 4 seasons. I mean, a good interior defensive lineman. I mean, not a bad pick at 59 at all. This past season for the Tigers, he had 8 tackles for loss, 5 sacks. Last year, 8 tackles for loss, 4 sacks. 2021, 8 tackles for loss, 2.5 sacks. He's been extremely consistent for Dabo Swinney. So I wouldn't hate the pick of Ruke at pick 59 at all, adding some beef to that interior of the defensive line. And another guy who I really haven't talked about a ton is Will Shipley, running back from Clemson. Came in to Clemson, a very highly rated prospect. Now, didn't have the career that he would have loved at Clemson, but I think he's still a really good option, a good running back in the backfield, a good receiving threat. I think the Texans are going to go running back at some point in this draft because I know you have Joe Mixon, you have Dameon Pierce, but you need to get some new talent in there as well. Will Shipley, I don't hate the pick of him at 127. Maybe a little bit too high in my opinion. I think you could wait till round 6 to get a running back, but Brugler had them taking one at 127. Now, for the last 4 picks, this is pretty interesting. First off, Jaylen Harrell. I love this pick at 188. I think it's an absolute steal to get Jaylen Harrell at 188, an edge rusher from Michigan. I'll break him down in just a moment. He also had the Texans taking Nathaniel Watson, linebacker from Mississippi State. Another pretty sneaky good value for the Texans in round 6. These two, very interesting. Bayron Matos actually played basketball for USF, but he's 6'9". He moves extremely well, and people think that he could possibly switch over to play offensive tackle in the National Football League. I don't know where his strength is at compared to other offensive tackles, and really how to evaluate him, because he played mostly basketball in college. So maybe, a guy who can transition, but Brugler basically said, hey, why not take a chance on a guy in round 7? Like, who would have thought the Eagles taking a rugby player at left tackle would ever work out? Now, he's one of the best left tackles in the league in Jordan Mailata. So, Bayron Matos, an interesting pick for the Texans in round 7, but I don't hate it. And then Willie Drew, a cornerback from a small school. And I really do believe, round 7, there's not a bad pick. Willie Drew out of Virginia State could end up being a special teams guy, could end up not making the team at all, but hey, it's round 7. You got to take some swings and misses on guys because there's not a ton of options once you get to the later rounds. Now, I do want to break down Jaylen Harrell, though, because I think this could be a sneaky sleeper pick if the Texans are able to get him in round 6. 31 tackles, 6.5 sacks for the national champion Michigan Wolverines last season. 6'4", 242 pounds. A little bit light for a 4'3" defensive end, but the upside's there. If he can add on some weight, he won't be asked to do a lot his first year because you have Will Anderson, you have Danielle Hunter. So bringing in a guy like Jaylen Harrell in round 6, I absolutely love this pick. Now, we told you about all the picks that Dane Brugler made. I want you to get your red pens out, pass your papers to the person on your left, and grade this mock draft A, B, C, D, or F. Let me know what you think it is down in the comment section. Actually, Producer Colin, if we want to roll through his picks one more time, just the 2 listicles, that would be great. Let me know down in the comment section your grade for this mock draft. I'll show it to you one more time if you don't remember all the picks that were made. Here is the first 5 rounds. I really do like Kinchens in round 3, getting another safety. And then here are the later round picks by Dane Brugler. Be honest. Let me know, how would you grade his mock draft down in the comment section. I'd give it a B. I like it. I don't absolutely love it. Maybe a B minus. If I'm going on a grading scale, maybe like an 81. I would give the mock draft. I don't hate it. Don't absolutely love it. I don't think it was a knock out of the park, but I don't think it's a bad mock whatsoever. As always, hit me up on Twitter at Jeremy Chuggs if you want more Texans news and rumors, the dankest memes around the internet, and commenting on the latest pop culture and worldly significant items going on around the world. So give me a follow at Jeremy Chuggs, and as always, like I said, hit that sub button. Go to youtube.com/TexansTV for the latest Texans news and rumors for free. We're giving you all the draft content you need. Why not hit that sub button for free Texans videos?